Okay, we're at Gamescom, we're talking more Arkham Knight, which is always good for me, I have to say. Guys, how is Arkham Knight and Gamescom? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're having a phenomenal Gamescom. It's great to be back in Germany. Last time we were here was for Batman Arkham City, and it's awesome to be able to see how fans are reacting to Arkham Knight.
Okay, now, we saw the game obviously at E3. What have you guys brought with you to Gamescom?
So we've brought a demo of a section of the game that takes place in Ace Chemicals. So Batman is going after Scarecrow. He's located where Scarecrow is producing the fear toxin that he's planning to detonate in a bomb of in Gotham City. And he's going after the Scarecrow. He's facing up against the Arkham Knight's forces. He essentially, when he arrives at Ace Chemicals, he finds the Arkham Knight's forces, his drone tanks, his infantry assembling there. So he's got not only Scarecrow to deal with, he also has to first face the Arkham Knight.
Now, obviously, who the Arkham Knight is a big mystery of the game. You guys must have seen some wild speculation online thus far about who he actually is, right?
We love reading all of that stuff. Like it's awesome to see what the fans are thinking. Right now, the only thing we're saying is that the Arkham Knight is an exclusive character that's been created, and it's been really narratively rewarding for us as well to be able to do that.
Now, as we saw during the E3 demo, and certainly parts of what we've seen today, this is a huge, huge game. I mean, you guys have basically had a really large Gotham before with, like I said, Arkham City, but you're just extending that. I'm just curious to know, in regards to actually designing that city, I mean, the scale's so huge. How do you guys go about it? Is it a case of just sectioning off bits of the city and going, right, we've got a rough idea of what we want where, and then just refining those areas to make it interesting and having lots of gameplay elements within those places?
Well, we've got a lot of artists. Yeah, everything in our enormous next-gen Gotham, it's 5 times bigger than Arkham City was. Every single thing that's in there has been produced and placed by a member of our city team, which is a lot of guys now. You know, we finished Arkham City with around 96 people. We're around 160 now for Batman Arkham Knight, and a lot of those guys are concentrating on building a living, breathing Gotham City that feels amazing and feels right to explore as Batman.
And sort of touching upon the legacy of the Arkham series. Now, obviously, you guys didn't work on Origins, but was there any elements from that game in terms of the cityscape, in terms of the design that maybe you guys had looked at and carried across to this game at all?
I think a lot of the city that we had, the broad strokes, were really already done by the time Arkham Origins shipped, so we've just been focusing on making our own Batman game, our own vision of Gotham City, and I think that's reflected in what guys are playing today.
Okay. Now, we've seen with the drones, obviously Batman's not killing people, as obviously that's part of his mantra, and we're seeing mechanized armored drones that you're attacking with the Batmobile, but there's a lot of collateral damage happening on the city as you're driving around. How have you guys decided which parts of the city that you can happily just tear through and which parts maybe it's not good, advisable?
Well, I mean, we operate under the principle that if it looks like it should be destructible, if it kind of makes sense that something as big as the Batmobile could smash through it, then chances are you can smash through that. So we try and take a very naturalistic approach, I suppose, to the design of the city and the destructible environment in that sense. From a narrative perspective, Wayne Tech have a lot of money, so if Batman needs to smash through a few little pieces, maybe a donation, we'll head in the direction of whoever the owner of that property is at some point in the future.
Let's talk about Batman. You've been with this character for 3 games now. How do you guys decide what you want to refine on the armor, what to change about the design of the suit? Or are you pretty much like, we're happy enough with as it is?
Well, I mean, the Batsuit's been radically redesigned for Batman Arkham Knight, and we really wanted it to be a mirror of the Batmobile. It's the design-wise, in terms of the materials that we wanted to use. We also really wanted to have a chance to show off all the cool tech that we're playing around with now. The different materials, the way his cape behaves, the rain on his cowl. So it's partly influenced by the fact that we absolutely wanted to have the Batmobile in there, and we wanted to make Batman and the Batmobile feel very connected, and the suit's a big part of that. But also, it's really a chance for us to show how cool the tech we're working with is.
So there isn't a chance during development you guys have tried to build this suit in real life just to see whether the thing would work?
Well, we actually produced some life-size latex molds of the Batman Arkham Knight Batsuit for an art exhibition called Cape and Cowl. So that was unveiled over at San Diego Comic-Con. Essentially, we produced these latex molds and sent them off to artists, designers, creatives. Will Arnett, the voice of Batman from the Lego Movie, did one for us, and they just created their own version. So you can check those out on the Batman Arkham Knight website.
And with the Batmobile itself, obviously it's the big new presence of the game. The design, for myself, I feel it's like halfway house between Nolan's sort of tank and the sort of classic, smooth feel of the sports car that we've seen in maybe the previous movies and the comics as well. What was the sort of design philosophy behind it?
Well, you can definitely see elements of the Arkham Asylum Batmobile. Obviously, the Batmobile does feature in Batman Arkham Asylum in one section. So if you look at the exhausts along the side, those are sort of very heavily influenced by that. But ultimately, it's all about gameplay for us. So when we started looking at what we wanted to do, have Batman ejecting out, we needed to bring the cockpit forward. And that's one of the reasons why it's there, so that he can eject out very straightforwardly. It's a sort of very long dragster-style Batmobile. It didn't really work visually very well doing that. We also wanted it to be unstoppable. So having big wheels, having it able to drive up and down stairs, through stuff, so it ended up being a sort of very big, powerful thing. And then that fit very well with the transition into battle mode as well. So now it's fully able to strafe in battle mode. It's capable of evasive maneuvers using dodge thrusters. The sort of the design aesthetic all sort of ended up very organically, really design being influenced by gameplay and gameplay being influenced by design.
Now, you talked about Gotham being 5 times the size of Arkham City. In terms of the actual gameplay length, the gameplay experience, are you guys sort of looking for similar beats to Arkham City, or expand that even further as well?
It's a great question. I actually haven't played through it in a little while, so I don't know how long it's coming out at right now, but there's loads of content in there.
What state of play or what state of development you guys at the moment? Is it a case of you've got start to finish and you're just polishing all the way through? What's left?
You know what? We're just concentrating on making an awesome game, so it's I don't want to get into exactly what part of the process we're at, because it's not really comparable to other studios either. We've got Rocksteady, we've got our own very specific way of working, but we're definitely out in 2015.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. That was actually the wrap-up question then. Any closer to an idea of a release date? 2015. That's 12 months, man.
Not necessarily.
Listen, thanks very much for talking to us. All the best.
Thanks again.